It's about halfway through the season, so it's time to figure out who are the 5 worst teams in the NFL currently. I tried doing this video a few weeks ago, but my audio file got corrupted. And yes, I did it before the Packers could be on here. Now I'm sad. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Nope, this list is really, really bad. Grossi. And yes, we are going to be ranking the 5 worst teams in the NFL, but I did something a little bit different because for the first time, I incorporated math. I know, the dreaded math. Everybody already unsubscribed. Everyone already clicked off. This is going to be my worst performing video ever. But yes, I brought in the help of numbers to try and determine not who are just the worst teams with the overlook or what's going to happen next season or how long they're going to be bad, but right now, who are the 5 worst teams currently playing in the NFL? So here's a bit of a shocker, and it was a shock to me. The Chicago Bears are not on this list. I know I wanted them to be. Oh, I prayed. I woke up and I prayed that they would be. But no, they are actually at number 6. Instead, these 5 teams, what I did was I took all their offensive rankings, the most important ones, points per game, rushing yards, passing yards, then did the same exact thing with defense. Allowed points per game, allowed rushing yards per game, etc. You get it. So I got a good picture of what their offense looks like, their defense looks like. I took some averages, and what we're about to talk about are those teams ranked utilizing math. And yeah, it's ugly. And so let's get started. At number 5, the team with the worst record, you got the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, listen, they are going to get a big boost. When Kyler Murray comes back, they are going to be better. And to be fair, they've been a very competitive team this season in terms of what their expectations were, because many people, including myself, thought they were going to be the worst team in the league. And yes, technically they have the worst record because the Panthers did win a game and the Cardinals played an additional game. But right now, they are not playing the worst of the worst football right now. If you take a look at their offense, they're 22nd in points per game. They are number 4, the 4th best rushing team in the NFL, and passing is 28th. They're near the very, very bottom. So their offense is, of course, not that great. They're averaging in terms of place at 18th. So not the worst right now, but of course could get better. And I imagine those passing totals are going to go up when Kyler Murray returns. And taking a look at their defense, they're 27th in points allowed per game, 25th in rushing yards allowed, and 18th in passing yards allowed, which gives you an average around 23.3. So they are the worst when it comes to defense on this list when you take all of those place values and average them together, but still not the worst overall team, because if we took all 6 of those numbers and we average them together, the offense and the defense for placement, they're averaging right about 20.6, which lands them at number 5. And the Bears, they got saved because their rushing totals are really good. Their rushing defense is good right now. They are actually at 3. They are the 3rd best rushing defense. And on top of that, they are number 6 on offense in terms of rushing yards. So the Bears get saved. The Cardinals, you're there at number 5. And listen, your trajectory is going up. And so, yeah, you can always hold on to that. Number 4, at 2-5, you got the Green Bay mother-loving Packers. I tried to make this video earlier. I tried, but here we are. Offense, things are not going well. And I mean, if you look at the first half, it makes a lot of sense. Right now, they are 21st in points per game, 25th rushing offense, and 22nd passing offense. So their offense averages at 22.6. So that is going to be behind the Arizona Cardinals. On top of that, their defense, it doesn't get better. They are 20th in points per game allowed. They are 26th in rushing defense. Hey, I've seen that before. And they are 11th in passing defense. So their top 15 clean at least when it comes to passing defense, but the other totals are abysmal. And so the defense combined is going to average at 19th in the league. And so if you take all that together, that places them 4th. They're just behind the Cardinals at 20.8. Again, the Cardinals were 20.6. And so the higher number that you have, it's going to be worse because it means that you're ranked lower. So yeah, the Packers, it makes sense. The Packers are abysmal in the first half. Their defense is not playing well. Their offense, they have no run game to speak of, and their passing game isn't doing well. They're struggling on the offensive side of the ball. They're struggling on the defensive side of the ball. And again, this video is not to say these teams are going to be bad forever, but currently I wanted to figure out who were the worst teams playing in the league, and unfortunately, the Packers come in at number 4. Number 3, you got the 2-6 New England Patriots. And you want to talk about bad offenses? Oof, this one is abysmal. 31st in points per game, 27th in rushing offense, and 21st in passing offense. That puts them at 26.3 for a ranking for their offense, which is the absolute worst. Their defense is the only thing that is kind of saving them right now. Because on defense, they're 26th in points per game, which is not great, but they have the 9th best rushing defense, and they're ranked 17th when it comes to passing defense. So being a top 10 rushing defense has definitely helped them in these rankings. So the Pats on defense are averaging about 17.3, which actually puts them at number 6 on this list. But you put all those averages together and they're at 21.8, which would rank the 3rd worst team. Again, taking their offense and their defense where they're placed and averaging them all together. We know that their offense is struggling. Their defense is their high point, but it's really just the running defense right now because everything else is pretty much a disaster. And so that puts the Patriots at number 3. Number 2, and I thought they'd be number 1. You got the 2-6 New Jersey Giants, and you want to talk about bad offenses. Woof. Their rushing yards are the only thing that is saving them from being a complete dumpster fire on offense. Points per game, dead last, 32nd. Rushing yards, 15th, middle of the pack, and 32nd in passing offense. That's pretty awful. They are tied with the Patriots in terms of worst offense around the league. And on defense, they're 23rd in points per game allowed, 24th in rushing defense, and 12th in passing defense. So you take all those averages together, you're looking at 19.6, which is the 4th worst amongst the defenses on this list. Put that all together, and they are ranking at 23rd, which makes them the 2nd worst team on this list. And the Giants, they're getting Daniel Jones back this Sunday. Maybe he's going to help things improve a little bit. I know Saquon Barkley definitely has helped there because he's kind of reinvigorated that offense a little bit. But yeah, the Giants are going through some tough times right now, and it shows. But they still are not as bad as the number 1 worst team. And at number 1, at 1-6, after winning their first game, you got the Carolina Panthers. And it's ugly stuff here. 25th in points per game on offense, 24th rushing offense, 25th passing offense. That's giving you an average of 24.6. Not looking too pretty there. And then on defense, which is supposed to be their strong point, they are 30th in points allowed per game, 29th rushing defense, and 6th passing defense. So again, their passing defense is saving them because they're averaging out on defense at 21.6, which is the 2nd worst. So it's not the worst, but if you put them all together, they're averaging as the worst team at 23.1. So there's not much separating the Giants from the Panthers, but altogether, it's been a slow start for that offense. Bryce Young is at least looking a little bit more composed, but their offensive line is bad. They don't have a run game going, and their defense is not doing much better except in the passing game. And so that brings you to the Carolina Panthers being currently the worst team in the league by using math. And so, yes, there's other teams. The Bears, they came in at number 6. The Commanders were floating around here too, around the top 10. And this is kind of just what the NFL is right now. It's a whole lot of mid being played. And if we look at all the numbers, it's really interesting to see like the Steelers, for example, who are getting outgained, but they still have a positive record. So I looked at the worst teams, the worst records, and then decided to look at the math. And to recap, the Panthers, the worst. Then you have the Giants, the Patriots, the Packers, and then the Cardinals. So yeah, this is how bad it is. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. And Bears fans, you're welcome. You know, I saw me at Tom Grossi Comedy, all social media see down below. A big shout out and thank you to all the patrons and YouTube members for your extra support on this channel. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, Go Pack, go.